Kaylee and I are up here at our upper farm. I've been getting tons of trail camera videos of woodchucks out here on the edge of the food plot, and if you can see right where that woodchuck was, it's pretty much decimated the food plot right in that corner, right where that chuck's hole was. So it was certainly a woodchuck that we needed to get killed, and we have a few other woodchucks at the gas well piece we need to get killed as well that are causing big issues. So we're gonna sneak up there after this and see if we can't get some of them chucks taken out as well. But we're gonna check out all the food plots, and I'm gonna show you exactly how everything's doing. It is August 18th today. Here's the lower part of the upper farm. This is about 1 3/4 acres down here. It wraps around this edge, and we have 1/8 of an acre up there right in front of the shanty that's coming up really good. You guys can see right there. We do have some woodchuck issues up here, so that's kind of what Kaylee and I came up here to address, as well as show you guys the food plot. The woodchuck issue is right over on this corner. You can see right around the edge over here, the food plot wasn't growing very good. It's because this woodchuck has been nipping everything off as soon as it comes up over here. But we're no longer going to have that issue anymore. There he lays. 300 Win Mag to the head. Big chuck. See it, babe?
I see it.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it's awesome.
There's a fat sucker. Look at that big hole it's got right there inside the brush. You can see right around this corner everything's nipped off here. Right up through there. We got quite a bit of rain the last few days here, so from that hurricane coming through. So it's a little wet, but for the most part, everything's looking pretty good to me. We've got pretty good spacing in between the brassicas. You know, that all comes down to your seed rate when you're spreading. The worst thing you can do is overseed a brassica and then have them outcompete, or trying to outcompete each other, and then you get really stunted growth and just not very good. There's a bunch of really fresh deer tracks in here. Over here trying to get these apples. There's some huge apples on this tree. Look at the size of that thing. Oh, look at that. It's an awesome apple. A little sour yet. See, seed rate was a little heavier on this side. Coming up a little thicker here. Overall though, we've got more food up here than we've had for, ever. So I'm excited about that, and this apple tree in the corner is absolutely loaded with apples. In fact, you can see a bunch laying on the ground under it. Look at all of them up in that tree. These crab apples are holding a lot of crab apples as well. Well, that's the good stuff up here. Let's go to the gas well piece next and check out those food plots and see if we can't run into another woodchuck or two. I like cruising around with that 300 Win Mag and that Kaylee sitting there. We're over here to the soybean, corn, and brassica food plot. It's a kind of a three-way mix. We got 24 rows of corn planted over here to screen the soybeans from the road, and then I took and broadcasted brassica right in here amongst the soybeans, and you can see that the brassica is coming up pretty good in here. That's brassica right there. There's some weeds in here as well, but really the brassica's doing pretty darn good in here, amazingly. That's brassica amongst the clover. That's brassica. And this, the soybeans are incredible in here. That fence right there is about a 5-foot tall fence. And the soybeans are actually above it now, which is crazy. These things have just absolutely exploded in the last few weeks here. You can see where some of the pods are starting to come on these, I think. They're huge. And what's crazy is they're actually doing really good inside the corn too. When the corn was little, I broadcasted soybeans kind of in the first 6 rows just to see what they would do, and they're actually growing really well. I'll actually walk over there and show you. You can see how hard these are getting browsed even, and they're still this tall. When there's deer out in here in the evening, you can't even, all you can see is their head sticking up out. It's so tall. This used to be a fence row right here, and there's a big, from where the dead furrow was along the fence for years, there's a big drop off, so I just took and rototilled it a bunch of times, and then I had some extra brassica seed, and I just broadcasted some brassica along the edge, and it's coming up. You can see where I actually spilled some brassica right there. But right in here is where I wanted to show you these soybeans that are actually inside the corn. I can get in here and show you. Like, look how long that soybean is. They're actually kind of wrapping around the corn stalks in there. I'm gonna go stand out in the middle of these soybeans and let Kaylee video me out there to show you how tall they are so you get appreciation for it. This is crazy. It's so thick it's hard to even walk through. Isn't that nuts? You gotta like swim through this stuff. Here's the middle food plot, and this is a food plot we're having woodchuck issues in as well. You can see all the woodchuck holes right on the edge of the food plot over there. There's a big fresh one right there. I was hoping we'd catch a woodchuck out here, and we did, but he ran back into his hole before I could get the 300 Win Mag out to get him killed. But this is a handy food plot because when all the other ones get hit really hard, you know, all fall and winter long, this one usually lasts quite a long time because it's out in the middle of these fields, so they're not as comfortable going to it. So when it gets super cold and they need it, they'll come out across all these fields to it, and there's enough food here for them at that point. So hunting shanties right there. We're gonna go check the food plot in the corner, which is across the cornfield from this. Okay, this is the corner food plot, the Gaswell piece. The shanty's right over there, over the corn. You can't see it right now, but this is coming up really good out here. Everything looks nice and even. There will be lots and lots of food for them here come December. Let's go down and check out the strip food plot that's down in the red brush below this cornfield here. Okay, here's the strip food plot, and the top side of this is doing absolutely awesome. Really good. The issue is down there in the bottom. You can see where it's kind of wet. The brassica's turning pretty yellow down there. Super stunted and yellow right there in the middle where all that water's pooled up. And then over here on the edge where the water's run down through, it's not doing very good either. You know, it wouldn't hurt for us to go about a week without any rain at all. That wouldn't hurt my feelings, but otherwise everything's looking pretty darn good. You know, a lot of these trees are holding quite a few apples over here as well. Look at that one and see all of them in there. That one is holding a lot too. I just hung up a vine on that tree this week with a camera over it, so we'll be able to watch and see what's happening with that. But looks like Uncle John's up there brush hogging. We have remnants of a hurricane, which is why it's been raining so much the last 3 days here.
It's gonna be a tropical storm, by the way.
What's the hurricane called?
It's not a hurricane.
This is a hurricane.
It's a tropical storm. Get with it.
Tropical storm what? What's the name of it? Henry?
No, they've already used that. It's like Dan or Doug or something. Get on my face.
Let's go check out Carl's. Here we are on Carl's food plot down here in the creek bottom. I was nervous about this, thinking it might have been a little too wet, but it's all coming up pretty darn good. You can see right where I stopped with the brassica. I planted brassica right up to this point and planted it over. So that's all maximum blend brassica all on this side. And then from here over is that winter rye and forage oat mix. And you can see where all the oats and the rye are coming up in there. There are sugar beets in there too, but that's actually all growing pretty darn good. It's funny, you can actually see where I took one pass with the brassica through there, and you can see right where that pass is going. But otherwise, I'd say she's doing pretty darn good in here. We could just go without rain for a few days and I think we'd be a lot better off.